everyone, I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Desiree.
And we're bringing you this week's Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide.
Well, it is a new month here on the Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide, and that means a new guide series. We are here for Spinning September 2024, where we break down rotation techniques that help you turn better, faster, stronger, all of it. So we're also going to, in addition to a technique that helps you spin, we're going to showcase a West Coast Swing pattern that exemplifies that technique being done well. So this week's guide, we're going to be working on the technique of frame for spinning, and we're also going to be exemplifying frame and frame done well through a double inside turn for the follower out of dumb hand hold. So let's show you that move, and then let's talk a little bit about what leaders and followers can do to have strong frame here.
So here's the pattern. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So a couple things for leaders. A lot of our leading turns, we don't necessarily have a ton of frame as what you think of in like the traditional sense. What we do need to do is be somewhat malleable to the follower's frame. So if we just use this move as an example and we go slowly through this, Desiree's setting her frame here, and then I'm adapting my rotation, or like really how big I'm making this circle based on the frame that I'm feeling from Desiree. So if she adjusts that frame, like let's say mid-turn, I'm going to adjust the amount that I'm turning based on where I feel the boundaries of her frame are. So what I don't want to do is really compress or expand her frame. So I'm not trying to like push in on her frame, and I'm also not trying to give her like a bigger frame than she wants. What I'm trying to do is feel the boundaries of the frame that she's setting, and then rotate almost the follower and their frame as one unit around their desired axis.
I think that's awesome because our frame as followers is really kind of similar follower to follower in terms of what's successful for turn technique, but our size, our height, our width, our depth, all of that is different. And so when I set my frame, I'm really setting a nice boundary that goes around my shoulders. And for me, that's going to be a little different than for other people. So it makes complete sense. For our followers, we're going to kind of work from the ground up with our personal body movement frame. So the first thing I want to think about is really just the position of frame. And then I'm going to think about the endurance that my frame has. So in other words, it doesn't bend or break too much with my leader. So the position of frame is thinking about the middle part of my body going with my arms. And so if you look at, say, the wrist, if my wrist moves one place, I want my body to also kind of hover and move right after my wrist. Now if I did that up here, kind of zombie arms, my wrist would go one way or the other. Like in a tuck position, my wrist would go one way or the other, and then my nose, my clavicle or collarbone, my midline would go to follow that. Now that is the position that we need to have for frame. We can't have our arms out here or tucked in here. However, we also want to think about the endurance of the frame to move through the pattern and maintain that frame. And that's where I want to think about having a body of water about waist deep and putting my arms to rest on that body of water. You'll notice that my arms aren't clenched, they're not floppy, but they're kind of just resting and buoyant on that body of water. From here I can do things like spread my pecs, show off this kind of upper body here. I can take my rib cages and pull them back. I can take my shoulders up, back, and down and rest my shoulders down, and all of that is going to help maintain this buoyancy of my frame. That, alongside the responsiveness of my midline to my extremities or my wrists, is going to make for good frame. So when I do all of that in this dumb hand hold, what I get is a really responsive frame with a kind of tricky, on the advanced side of basic move. Final thing, followers, for this particular move and for rotations in general, our frame also is improved by having our elbow down. So the more I open or extend my elbow, the wider these turns get, the looser my frame gets, as opposed to having my elbow at almost a 90-degree angle without pulling the leader, makes it really easy for me to turn.
That was your guide. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and check out our website and online store, link in the description.
Bye!